going on, guys? BSG Trek Fan 88 here for you fellow Jeepers out there, and for those of you that are just getting started, this is going to be an overview of my Jeep Wrangler. It's a 2003 Jeep TJ Sport Edition. This is also going to be an overview for anybody who wants to know anything about a Jeep TJ. Now, a Jeep TJ is any Jeep model from 1997 to 2006. 95 was the last year of the Jeep YJ, this guy's predecessor. And if someone tries to tell you that there's a 96 TJ or a 96 YJ, it's kind of like an in-between model. Technically, it would be a Jeep TJ. It was really nice out today, so I cleaned and washed it. I took it for a spin, so this is as clean as it's going to get. So without further ado, let's talk. So I have on my Jeep General Grabber AT2 tires. Those are from TireRack.com, as well as the wheels. I like them. I think they stand out as opposed to what everybody else has, including the what the hell is it, the BF Goodrich All-Terrains, which is what I had on my YJ, which are great tires, but for the price, you can pick up a pair of these and the rims for under $800 from Tire Rack, and I think they look pretty cool. Oh, and for those of you wondering, I'm going to be filming this on my iPhone 5. For simplistic purposes, I do have a Nikon 7100, but I'm just going to use my iPhone here. We'll start with the basics. This guy, I put on diamond plate over the top of the fender. Yes, I used screws instead of tape because I like the idea of knowing that it's not going to come off. It is painted matte black, a little bit of soap dried on there, but you get the idea. Looks pretty good for an aftermarket. Under the hood, my particular Jeep, and yours potentially, has the trusted, tried and true straight six, 190 horsepower. I honestly forget the torque it has, but very reliable engine. Will get you home if something major goes wrong. These have been known to last well into 250,000 miles before needing to be replaced, as long as you take care of them. A lot of people I know have them for about 100, 150 before they do a major overhaul. I plan on getting the tune-up done when it passes 100K, when I get some money. But right now she's running pretty good. The engine bay is pretty solid. I put in a cold air intake, as you can see. Doesn't really give you much gas mileage, but it's better for the engine and gives the engine a little bit more of a throaty sound to it. Maybe an extra horsepower. That's obviously my PA speaker. Your washer fluid, your coolant, oil obviously goes there. See, what I like about this engine is that you know where everything is right away. There's no hunting around, there's no guessing, there's no wondering why. This is there. Pretty straightforward, which is why I went with this Jeep over a newer one when I had the option to do so. Not much to go over here. You want more engine specs, you can go to Wikipedia. There's plenty of forums for Jeeps. In fact, I think there are more forums for Jeeps than any other vehicle, especially the Wranglers. Ever since putting this diamond plate on, this is a little bit harder to get on. I do have the factory fog lights, which is pretty cool because it's the Sport Edition. I still get the factory antenna. I might change that at some point. Wipers, pretty straightforward. These are Duralast. I picked these up at AutoZone. They're one of the few wipers of their kind that fit the Jeep. As you can see, they're the flex kind, which I like, because you get 100% coverage. Now, I don't have any problems with these. Plus, they look really cool, you know. Factory hardtop, and I do have a soft top, but it's not installed right now because it's the winter. That's going to be going on soon. This is actually a BF Goodrich long trail for the spare. Came with the actually, this came on the vehicle, all four of them. But I since obviously replaced the tires, so I kept this as a spare. And for those of you that are curious, my bumper stickers. And my favorite one. Yeah, awesome. You can get that off Amazon, all of them actually. We open the tailgate here. As you can see, there's my 10-inch sub, as well as the Alpine amplifier. I have my rear seat removed for the summer, because I have my larger sub box in there. When it's not going to be the summertime, I'll put the seat back in, and as well as if somebody really wants to go four-wheeling and it doesn't fit in the front. See the seat belts. I mean, it's pretty straightforward here. This is a Type R 10-inch Alpine sub. I've had this sub for about 5 years, and it's never let me down. It's been wet. It's been through 2 car accidents. It's been placed in different sub boxes. This is a Baseworks ported sub box, the best that money could buy a couple of years ago. Awesome. Being the factory hardtop, one thing I would recommend if you're into getting a Wrangler or already have them but don't have these are quick releases. Rather than having to use freaking tools, you literally only have to unscrew, and that's all. So if you want to take the hardtop off quickly, or just by yourself, or you know, whatever, that's all you have to do. I highly recommend picking those up. The carpet for Wranglers, if you don't know, can be removed very easily. And a lot of people actually prefer it, and they prefer vinyl lining their Jeep, which I may or may not do. I don't know yet. I'm also looking into what's called a bed rug, which is a water resistant / waterproof rug. It's a replacement for the factory, what's the word I'm looking for? Factory carpet. I just keep this in case I have to hang something. Back here, you see the connector for the wiper, and as Gavin Free would say from Rooster Teeth, the wiper juice is right here. Make sure you plug that nice and tight when you take the top off. You can drive around with your glass up and your tailgate shut, but one of those things that I've even done myself, don't forget, in order to shut the glass as a security feature, you need to have the tailgate obviously open. So, and also one other thing, make sure you open it all the way, because I've hit this numerous times. Yeah, it sucks. One of the things I like about the hardtop for the Jeep TJ, it's very, very big. You know, if I stand back here about 15 feet, you know, that's huge. That's a very big window. I guarantee you, right now, while you have this video up, open up a new tab and click, you know, Jeep JK hardtop rear window, and you'll see that on the sides, it's just cut off. It's like a little square. It sucks. I hate it. That's why I hate the new Jeeps. So anyway, that's that. Always make sure you snug this. Over time, this can get a little tired. So let's go inside. This has gotten a little tired. You can actually just replace all of this if you want to. It's very easy. I have my key in so it doesn't beep, but for those of you that are curious, little trick, because I leave my keys in the truck when I'm at the post office because it's gated. You can actually, you know, take the key and just leave it in like that, right? Only when it goes this close does it beep. And it's a very annoying beep indeed. I really wish I could change that. So let's shut the door. Now, let's see. Those are your indicator lights when it first comes on, so that's all normal. A lot of people, including myself, always wondered, you know, why does the airbag light stay on? Why does the check engine light stay on? I'm not going to start it yet, but that check engine light will stay on until you start the vehicle for whatever reason. Probably to let you know that you're in check engine mode, like you have the key ignition on, you're ready to go. 99,361. This guy's almost at 100,000 miles for a 2003. That's not bad. So anyway, I said this would be an overview of everything, and that's what we're going to do. So, starting on the left, you have your indicator. Alright, I might as well do it, get it over with. Your hazards. Alright. Now on the Jeep, on your left-hand side, you have your blinkers and you have your lights. Now, parking lights, and of course the lights for the dash come on, and normal lights. But what's this? Well, that's fog lights. If you have factory installed fog lights, or if you're smart enough to wire an aftermarket, you pull it, boom, your fog lights are turned on, okay? Now you can run with off, parking lights, and fog lights. Now, if your fog lights are on, you should have that green indicator come on. Now when you engage your high beams, the fog lights are not on unless it's one of those deals where you're you pull back, you know, but it's an obvious reason why. Now here's something really cool. This actually dims the console. Okay, and not only the miles, but also the lights for the obviously it's daylight, but you can see the lights for the whole Jeep. Unfortunately, not the light for your fog lights. That actually is very bright, as well as every other icon on the dash. Speaking of the dash, now that that's done, You have your fuel on the bottom left, your battery on the top left, your RPMs, your speed, your engine temp, and your oil pressure. Now, with the exception of the RPMs, the fuel, and the speed, every one of these is what's called a dummy gauge. And that's one of the bigger differences gauge-wise from the YJ to the TJs is back on the YJs, they had actual functioning gauges. So, for instance, your oil pressure would actually go up and down depending on how cold or hot the engine was, your RPMs, etc. Same thing with the engine temperature as well as the battery. Now, why they changed that was because they had so many wasted dollars on people coming in under warranty and having, oh, my gauges keep going back and forth. Well, that's why they call it quote-unquote dummy gauges, because people don't know any better and they don't read the fucking manual and they don't read that, hey, this is normal, So what these gauges do is they pretty much stay centered unless they detect a massive difference. I forget what the actual difference is, but, my oil won't go down or up unless it's over a certain PSI or over a certain whatever. Same thing with temperature. Temperature is not that much of a dummy. It's not going to move 100% of the time, but it obviously does move with the temperature of the engine. Same thing with battery and fuel. Okay, fellow TJ owners, you can attest to this. The gas gauge on a Jeep TJ, at least my 2003, and I know many others as well, is horribly inaccurate. Now, I have the standard 19-gallon tank, which was standardized in 2003. Every model year, 2003 and after, is 19 gallons. Before that, it might have been a little lower, but whatever. 19-gallon tank. That gas light comes on as soon as that guy hits the red. Now, if you're looking at the gas gauge, that's not a red dot. That's a whole red line. That's almost half a quarter of a tank, right? I've done the math on numerous fill-ups. When the gas light comes on, you have at least 4 or 5 gallons left. You can go easily, and I have done so, easily 40 miles, 50 miles once the gas light comes on. The most I've ever gone is literally the gauge is below the red line, and I still had 2 gallons left. So when that gas light comes on, you don't have to fill up. Try it yourself. Immediately when the gas light comes on, fill up. See how many gallons you put in versus what your tank capacity is. All right, you're going to be surprised. You can easily go 40 miles or so. Maybe, I'm not going to say 50 because then you're going to run out of gas and blame me. But most likely, doing the math, I could put 5 gallons in. Minimum of 10 miles a gallon. That's 50 miles, most likely more. So, yeah. And for those of you that are wondering, after a couple different trips after fill-ups, the lowest gas mileage I've gotten is 200 miles on a tank. The most is 260. And that was the best I've ever gotten. That was a couple weeks ago. After 2 tanks of gas after an oil change. And I still had 2 gallons left, so I could probably have gone 270. That's not necessarily babying it, but that's, not flooring all the time and all that jazz. Okay, so anyway, on the right side here, we have your wiper control, which is off. Mist, which I'm not gonna do. You have mist. You have delay, low, and high. Now this is opposite of what most vehicles have, where you go down, not up. It takes a little getting used to. Now when you're on delay, it's intermittent, which is great. Okay, intermittent, fast intermittent, then low and high. Pretty straightforward. Pulling does the windshield washer fluid, and that's pretty much it, folks. So now we move on over here. And don't worry, this video is almost over. You have your vents, pretty straightforward, up, down, left, right. You have your radio, which is personal to you. I have the Alpine IDA X305S, which is, in my opinion, the best radio for a Jeep. And then you have your control knobs. Pretty straightforward. You have your vent, your cold, your position. Now, this is actually your nitpick of mine. You have off. You have AC with the vent closed, so you're not getting outside air. You're recirculating the air, which is good for AC. Then you have your basic AC, which opens the vent, and it's still AC, but it's only the face. Then you have the floor and the face AC. And then you have face, for heat, obviously, or just coolness. And floor, and then, of course, defrost and floor and defrost only. What's missing here? Why the hell would you want AC for the floor and the face, but not for heat? In the wintertime here, it's been very cold. I would love it to have floor and face without having to turn the fucking compressor on for the air conditioning. Now, you can put it on floor and face, and it'll work, and it'll be hot, but obviously it's not quite as hot as if you had it just on normal face. It's a nitpick of mine. Nobody else complains about it. I do, because that's wasting gas. Why the fuck do I want the compressor running for heat, you know? That's just a nitpick of mine. Down here, you have your lovely switches. Come on, camera, focus. You have your defrost, which I will actually turn the key on. There's that annoying beep again. You have the defrost, overdrive on and off, because this is an automatic, or your rear wiper, which is only on or only off. It's not intermittent. And of course you push and then push even further, which I'm not going to do, and that makes your rear wiper juice come out and clean your windshield or your tailgate. Because this is an automatic, you see the shifter here, and the iPhone doesn't like to focus when it's dark. You have your park, reverse, neutral, drive, and overdrive, 2-in-1. Very good transmission in the sense that it shifts very smoothly, especially for the mileage. But you'll notice when you drive this, when you come to a stop, it does downshift into first gear, and it's pretty jerky for an automatic, but that's standard. I guess they came out with a firmware patch for that. This Jeep obviously never got that. Then you have your lovely four-wheel drive. You have two-wheel high, four-wheel high, neutral, four-wheel low. I'll demonstrate how to shift into that at a later date. And then you have your parking brake. You have your cup holder, which is a rubberized foot for it. And then you have your center console, which I purchased. This amazing piece of equipment, this rubber pad that fits over it with 2 pieces of sticky tape that comes supplied. I'll put the link for this below. Trust me, when you drive the Jeep, you'll notice 2 things. One, there's no real place for your left foot to go, so it's just going to hang. You can lean it out. You can put your knee against the door, which you're going to be doing this quite a bit, putting your knee against the door, so resting it there. And how I drive, the hand is there, arm is on the door, because there's no armrest, but even if there was, that'd be pretty close. So that's how I drive. My other arm is usually here, playing with the radio. But this is awesome. This is super comfortable. It's a tire tread pattern, but don't let that discern you from getting this. It's very super comfortable. Awesome. Of course, up here you have a little nitpick tray, or a little knick-knack tray, I should say. I put the remote for my radio up there. You have your passenger airbag, and I forgot to mention driver's side airbag. Open this guy up, pretty roomy. You can detach this and pull this completely down to give you access behind the radio, and your fuse panel is back there, in case you wanted to know. So, one final thing, folding of the seats. Being a Jeep, obviously you can take the top off, as well as put a soft top on or nothing on there. You can also take the doors off by simply removing those 2 bolts. It's better with 2 people, but you can do it by yourself. To open the driver's side door, this guy here, you lift up and pull it down. The seat does not automatically come forward. You have to lift up on the adjustment and pull the seat that way. But the driver's side, you shouldn't find yourself using it that much to let people in and out, because the passenger seat is much better for it. Now, passenger seat, same deal. You lift up, you pull forward, but you'll notice the whole seat wants to move, so just keep pulling. And ta-da! Now mine doesn't go quite as far because I have my CB radio, which was an afterthought of mine, which gets wedged in there. But as you can see, now you have plenty of room to step up and over and into the rear passenger seat that, in my case, doesn't exist. Come on, iPhone, fucking focus. So, when you're done, push, and there you go. That's how it works, folks. Now, thank you for watching this video, but I have one question for you fellow Jeep owners. 2 things. One, for my passenger door, the pin that holds the door has been bent by the previous owner. And I'm not just talking about, you know, I bend it back, like the whole assembly, right? It's just, you can just bend the whole thing, like this whole thing. So I was thinking of having somebody just put a little weld patch there. Any other ideas that'd be appreciated. And the other thing too is on mine, my window trim wants to come down on me. In fact, if I pull down, like this whole thing just wants to come down on me. So any ideas on, you know, super glue? Should I just replace it? I don't know. I don't want to use super glue, because then if I ever have to replace it, it's going to be a bitch to get off. Oh, and if you're also wondering how to take the hardtop off, you simply do this, undo the 2 straps, or the 2 locking mechanisms, undo those bolts in the back, or the fasteners if you bought them like I told you to, and you're ready to rock and roll. Any other questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. Again, PSG TrekFan88. Had to lock that back in place. Anyway, guys, have a good night. Thanks for watching.